Hey everyone, and welcome to week 31, our second week of Tiki. Last week we built the Mai Tai, which was our first lesson in balancing rum against citrus and a nutty sweetener. This week we keep that balanced theme, but we add passion fruit. This week we are making the Hurricane. And this challenge is about keeping that fruit sweetness in check, because a fruit-forward drink can quickly become a syrupy candy. But first, a little history. The Hurricane is a New Orleans drink, and it actually came about because of a shortage. It's the 1940s in the French Quarter in a bar called Pat O'Brien's. Back then, whiskey was king and it was hard to get. Distributors had a habit of forcing bar owners to buy cases and cases of rum that they didn't actually want, just to earn the right to buy a few bottles of whiskey. Well, Pat O'Brien's had an idea. They needed to move all of this rum stock, and they invented a big, fruity, rum-heavy crowd pleaser to move the inventory. They served it in a tall, curvy glass shaped like an old hurricane lamp, and that is how the Hurricane was born. Over the years, this version that took over Bourbon Street drifted into something very sweet and very red, but that's not what we're making today. Again, we're going after the original balanced version, and once you understand that, you can riff on that sweet neon version if you want to. But what's in the drink? Meet passion fruit syrup. We're gonna start with the ingredient that's different. Passion fruit syrup on its own is quite intense. It's bitter and floral and tropical, something you would expect something made out of passion fruit. Homemade versions are usually made for 1-to-1 ratio of passion fruit and sugar. Bottled syrups will vary, so you want to keep that in mind and maybe taste it first to calibrate. And speaking of sugar, the passion fruit is also our sweetener in this drink. So you're actually pouring the fruit and the sweet in every pour. At its heart, the Hurricane is a rum sour, the same skeleton as the daiquiri and the Mai Tai. It's the lime, the acid, that keeps this drink from collapsing into a sweet mess. It's the control lever that balances the sweet and the acid and makes the drink going from something that could be a sweet candy into something more responsible and balanced. But we forgot to introduce our main spirit, but this time it is going to be a split base. This drink by design is meant to be a generous rum forward pour. So the classic move is to use half a darker aged rum and half a light rum. Splitting the base is a habit you'll see all over the Tiki world, and again, you can create your own variations of a split base to make your own interesting versions. A little bit of orange juice is gonna round out some of the more sour citrus vibes that are going on here. It's somewhat optional, but I think it'll help to round out this drink. Okay, and for our glassware, this is served in what's called a Hurricane glass, which I believe is the largest glass you can serve a cocktail in. But even a tall glass, a Collins, even a rocks glass will work. And it is built over crushed ice again, like we showed last week. And that's something to keep in mind, because the ice will intentionally melt as you drink, and the taste of the drink actually changes as opposed to a cocktail drink that's served up. Let's build. Okay, into your shaker goes 1.5 ounces of white rum, and 1.5 ounces of dark or aged rum. Now you're already seeing the kick that this guy has. Again, good old Patty wanted to move his rum inventory. So I don't think we've built a drink yet that calls for a 3-ounce base spirit. So it's a real kick in the pants. Let your guests know, okay, before giving it to them. We're gonna do 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. We're gonna do 1 ounce of fresh orange juice. Well, we'll call that almost an ounce. It was 1 orange. And we're gonna do 3/4 ounce of our sweet and floral passion fruit juice. All right, add ice to your shaker, and we're gonna add our crushed ice to the Hurricane glass. If you missed last week's video, I go into length about how not to make different concepts of how to make crushed ice. Truth is, it's not too bad. I have a bit more here that I'm gonna add on top. Shake for 10 to 15 seconds till your hands get cold. Listen to this. Science, I think. All right, we single strain into our glass. Garnish is a cocktail cherry or candied cherry. I think that's supposed to sit on top. Right, I should have poured less liquid, added more ice, and then had the cherry on top. So I've added too much liquid. You know, do as I say, not as I do. And we got a nice orange wheel. Add a straw. The garnish is often skewered together with a cocktail pick, the orange and the cherry, which I don't know why I didn't do that. But let's drink it. Ladies and gents, the Hurricane, L'chaim. I gotta say, that does not taste strong. Man, this would be a good party drink for guests. Get a bunch of Hurricane glasses. You have to like passion fruit. I think passion fruit, I have a little bit of a, not a love-hate. I do like it, but you have to, if you've never had passion fruit or passion fruit syrup for that matter, it is quite bitter. It's like I said before, it's loud, right? I think is the word I used. So that's off the bat. If you do like passion fruit, I mean, this is just a really lovely balanced drink that is hiding very well the split base 3 ounces of rum. It's much more, I wanna say adult-like than last week's Mai Tai. The Mai Tai last week was a bit sweet forward from the orgeat and the almondy, which was really delicious. But I think this one is a bit more, again, citrusy forward, passion fruit forward, really. I don't know how to describe it. It's not citrus and it's not fruit forward, even though it's technically both of those things. Also crushable, also really appropriate for August. But I mean, that's gotta leave you staggering. It's got 3 ounces, it's a tall glass, although the pebble ice will actually help with the dilution of the alcohol. So drinking a whole glass of this, I would say you're also hydrating. Whoosh. Let's talk about variations. So the most natural riff to play again is the rum combination. You can swap your dark rum for a funky Jamaican or lean into a Demerara rum. You get like a brown sugar richness. You could go for, again, an overproof rum for more heat. You have spice rum, you have agricole rum. Once you get into the tiki world, it is a really fun experimentation to split the base, ideally with a dark age if it calls for it, and something else that kind of amplifies it to a different direction. I think rum is one of the more interesting base spirits that it brings so much character in the single ingredient on its own that really will help to shape the direction of your taste profile of how you like the drink. For a summer porch version, you could put everything into a blender with a scoop of ice. Because passion fruit is so strong, it will survive the cold better than most fruits. But remember our trick from frozen watermelon margarita week, cold mutes flavor. So you may want to add your ingredients with a touch bolder, a touch more punch of lime or syrup or whatever else it is. Next week, we put this same passion fruit to work in something new, but for now, this is a good place to be. I'll see you all next week. And until then, happy mixing.